there has to be a divine creator. It's too perfect.
It's too perfect.
Yeah.
What would an imperfect creation look like?
I had to explore that a little more.
What's your first name?
Daniel.
Daniel?
Yes, sir.
D-A-N-I-E-L?
Yes, sir.
I'm Matt. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Yes, sir.
So, I'll try to explain maybe a little bit better what I'm doing, and then if that interests you, we can keep going.
Yep.
Basically, out here interviewing folks about something that they believe is true. Preferably, or it works better if it's something that's important to you. Something that, like, if you found out wasn't true tomorrow, it would change how you act in the world. And then asking questions to figure out the reasons that you have for believing the belief, and then what makes those good reasons according to your standards.
That's deep. It's
That's-
very deep.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. We were just having this conversation earlier, so yeah.
Was it about something specific?
Yeah, something more spiritual, religious.
Spiritual, religious?
Yeah, and a little more philosophical as
Okay.
well. So yeah, I think it's interesting. I think we can go into that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a conclusion that you've reached about something spiritual or religious that you would want to explore?
Absolutely. Just my religious belief.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I have a conclusion.
Okay.
It's a little confusing for me right now.
Go ahead.
I do believe in Jesus.
Okay.
I am Christian,
Okay.
but I'm also one of those Christians that I'm in search of more. You know, I'm open to my beliefs being challenged,
Okay.
and I'm open to challenge my beliefs because I'm on the path, or I'm on this journey where, you know, okay, like you said, you know, I believe in what I believe in,
Mm-hmm.
but when it's challenged, do I still believe that?
Mm-hmm.
And the more that I'm having these type of conversations, it leads me to believe, to go deeper and believe more, and to, you know, I'm hungry for more, in
Okay.
a sense. Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, we could explore that if you wanted to.
We can do that.
Sure. Let's see. If there was like a way, and I know you said you haven't necessarily reached a conclusion, but I'm wondering if there was like maybe like a tweet-sized sentence of your belief.
I'm a Christian.
Christian?
Yeah.
Just like that. Okay. Okay. So we just go Christianity. All right. What does Christianity mean to you?
Believing in the Lord Jesus Christ.
Believing in Jesus? Okay. And when you say believing in Jesus, what does that mean?
Believing His teaching.
Believing in His teaching?
His purpose on this earth.
Purpose? Okay. So, sort of like the message,
Yeah,
the messages of Jesus. And when you say purpose, what do you mean by that?
Him being sent by Christ, the Lord,
Okay.
to come out here and dying for our sins.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dying for sins. Okay. I think I understand. I think I'm kind of familiar with Christianity enough. When you think about Christianity, how confident would you say you are that I guess maybe this portion of this belief is true? Because I think most people could look at the teachings of Jesus and say like, oh yeah, okay, maybe this is a good teaching, like this is a good idea, we should do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe just for this portion, that there was this guy named Jesus who was sent by God to die for our sins. When you think about that claim, how confident are you that that's true?
I'm very confident.
Okay. What does very confident mean to you?
It's like my North Star. It's my compass.
Okay. So it
Yeah.
sort of guides you.
Yeah.
Okay. Just gonna put very confident. What is the biggest reason you think that makes you very confident that this part of Christianity is true?
Okay. So if we take out the religious part of things, right, and just get purely logical, right? And also, I just firmly believe that we do have a higher creator, and there's nothing that I can do or say, right, that could change that, as far as I know right now. And the message that Jesus Christ preached, right, it just further explains that belief. And so, like you said, if that changed, well, if I heard the question correctly, if that changes, right, or
Yeah, well, it was more like, well, it sounded like what you were saying there was that maybe the messages of Jesus are what gives you, that's what makes you confident?
right,
Is that what you were saying?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
This is I like to ask you some questions as well, so we can kind of play off on that. So with that being said, we can get back to that. But my question to you then is, I guess, what is your overarching or your purpose of all of this?
Of just doing this?
Yes.
Basically, my two main goals are to encourage people to think more critically about their beliefs, and then to inspire reflection, basically. So that's pretty much it. It doesn't really matter to me what people believe. I think what's important is the reasons that you use to come to the belief.
Right.
And then, why are those good reasons?
Right.
Basically.
Right. So for me, it's more so personal, like just personal events in my life. Right. So going back, I grew up in the church. My grandfather was a deacon. My dad in the church. Ever since I've known, we've always been in the church. And I deviated away from that as a teenager. Kind of just wanted to figure out my own things, and I went out, lived in the world, just did whatever. I'm still living in the world. I don't go to church every day anymore. And throughout those personal experiences, I've always had, it's almost like a guiding angel, like a guardian angel, always, encouraging me to believe in the higher power. I mean, it's hard to explain to an unbeliever, but it's almost like, there are events in my life, there are things that have happened that, if it weren't for God, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for that guidance. I mean, there are accidents that I've been into or that was, so close, and it was almost like a miracle that didn't happen. And for me, it was always like pointing me right back to that belief in God, and I stopped questioning. I've even had a dream once where, it's something that I haven't really shared with a lot of people, but people that are important to me. I've had this dream, and I was like, going through some stuff as a teenager, and it was almost like I was in this dark area, or like somewhere like, when the fire comes somewhere and it burns, and I was there by myself, and there was this hand that reached from above. It's almost like a cloud picking me up with like a sharp voice, like a very powerful voice. I said, "I got you," but it was also soothing, right? And it picked me up, and I woke up because that dream felt so powerful to me, and it was like a awakening moment for me as well that just further just steer me through, to what I believe in. And so I started to really leaning into Jesus' message, and his message preaching love and forgiveness, and sacrificing oneself for for the greater good. And that just felt really good to me,
Mhm.
you know. And so I put that aside, and I'm like, all right, well, let me just think logical. Let me be logical here, right? What if this isn't true?
Mhm.
What if, you know, this is just some story that some smart person or smart people came together and they created this highest form of good,
Mhm.
right? And it's just a fairy tale or just this thing, right? To help people reach for good, then even if it's true or not,
Mhm.
it's not going to change.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
So it sounds like you're saying even if Christianity wasn't true,
Mm-hmm. If
The-
Jesus didn't exist,
right? But you're saying you're saying the messages are what's important.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, if Christianity was false,
Mm-hmm.
would you want to know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think you would figure that out?
Guess we'll never know.
You'll never know.
This is the thing, right? Even if I figure out one day, I go, kick the can, right?
Mm-hmm.
And whoops, God doesn't exist. What you believe in didn't exist. At least I believe in something bigger than myself.
Bigger than yourself.
Yeah. Than to just go around thinking that be nihilistic.
Nihilist.
Is that the right word? Yeah, a nihilist. Yeah.
Maybe a nihilist is like. That's a good question. Somebody that thinks that there is no purpose to life.
There is no purpose to life.
Is
Yeah.
what a nihilist is? Yeah. Okay. Interesting. So we got messages,
Mhm.
personal experience, some accidents that you described that maybe seemed a little miraculous,
Mhm.
and then these powerful dreams.
Mhm.
What do you think among these is the biggest reason that gives you confidence that Christianity is true?
Miracles.
Miracles.
Yeah. Things that are completely out of my control.
Okay.
That just I don't have any explanation for. Yeah.
Is there a reason that you choose Christianity as an explanation for those?
Yeah. Like I said, going back to my upbringing,
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that I was exposed to at a very early age. So it plays a lot in my decision,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. But I also think that coming from Africa and where I lived in Africa, that community itself did a really good job exposing me to a lot of different religion.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were African spirituality being practiced in that community. There were Muslim, Christianity, and we all coexisted. Like, I didn't even know we hated each other until we came to America.
Mm-hmm.
We're just like, you don't like them, and they don't like. It's like, what? Okay.
Hmm.
So, during holidays, like during Muslim holidays, they'll have just regular things where everybody come, like all the kids will come, the Christian kids will show up, and we'll all come together and we'll eat.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have fun. People who practice African spirituality, they'll do their things. They'll bring food and we'll hang out.
Mm-hmm.
Christians during Christmas, Muslim, we'll all hang out and we'll do things and have fun. And in my community, people will go around and giving gifts during like Christmas and New Year's and stuff, giving gifts, and Muslims will accept that. And so for me, it wasn't really hard for me to make that decision. Because I was exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think, in a sense, I was like sheltered and made this biased decision. I think I was given enough information to make this decision on my own.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. If these accidents that you described, these like miraculous things that happened to you, if those hadn't happened to you, would you still be very confident that Christianity is true?
I think God will find a way to always lead me back to that. Because like I mentioned, just going back into the world, right? Just choosing not to go to church. My family always goes to church, but I just choose not to go. And they never forced me. They never made me feel excluded or anything like that. They made me explore. And I explored. I drank. I partied. I did all those things. But every single time there were situations that always led me back to God, and that always led me back to my faith.
Is it possible that a God exists, but Christianity is false?
It is possible that God exists, and there, Christianity could be false.
Mm-hmm.
Could be, and I'm open to that. I'm open to that being false. So,
Is it possible that a God doesn't exist?
if from my belief, no.
No.
I don't think that this creation, just Earth alone, or this cosmos,
Mm-hmm.
was created out of accident. There has to be a divine creator. It's too perfect.
It's too perfect.
Yeah.
What would an imperfect creation look like?
I had to explore that a little more, and then it goes back to this duality, right? Because this is so perfect, chaos also exists within it, if that makes sense. Like,
Perfection.
there's imperfection within this perfection.
Perfection is only perfection when there's imperfections in it?
There is it. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there another example of something like that? Something that's perfect because it has imperfect parts?
Yeah, like human beings.
Human beings?
Yeah, like look at us. Like we're perfect, right? But within our perfection, there is imperfection. There are biases. There are egos. There are things that we have to overcome in order to strive for this so-called perfect being, right? Like, I mean, just look at us and look at the things that we're able to achieve, and look at the things that we've achieved over time. But also look at the things that we've destroyed. Look at all the stuff that we've done to our environment.
How do you define perfection?
It's a good question. That's a real good question. Life, man.
Perfection is life,
In my opinion, yeah.
in your opinion? So when you say, like, I'm just trying to understand how the word here,
Yeah.
like if you had like a really good steak and you were like, this steak is perfect, are you saying this steak is life?
I have to break it down more, right? All right. So when I say life is perfect, that's not taking away that there are bad things, associated with life. When I say an example of life being perfect is because we have all these different things that have happened, that are capable, that could happen, that have happened, but also within all of that, good things have happened. And in my opinion, for me, that would be my example of what perfect is. Because if perfect was nothing bad ever happening, I don't know, man. And that's what sometimes too, it takes me back to religion and Christianity, right? Of heaven and hell, right? And well, if you're thinking that way, then if there's no pain in heaven, if everything is so perfect, and as Christians say, then that contradicts what I believe, right? And I'm open to that too, right? So then,
Interesting.
yeah, I'm open to that, and so I'm on this, like I said, I'm on this journey to really explore, right? What is that? And then if I'm wrong, shit, enlighten me. You know what I'm saying? Like, enlighten me. But as far as I know right now, this is where I'm at. This is what I think. And I can talk to a typical Christian, right? And they're like, I don't know, man. You're kind of like far off over there. I don't know. You're not within the confine of what a Christian should be. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people calling me crazy. I'm okay with people, calling out my contradiction, right? Because I think that'll open me up to really, in my personal opinion, to really open me up to truly accepting Jesus' message, and also just learning. I don't want to say I believe in this thing, but yet so closed off to the possibility of you might be wrong, bro.
It's important to remain open-minded?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I know it's all over the place, but
No,
I'm pretty
that's-
sure if we get down to it, and if you have time, I have You have time. I got time.
I guess I'm really curious about this miracle thing.
Yeah.
Like, let me try to think of a way to put this. Let's say this is my brother Corey.
Hi, Corey.
Let's say Corey here was a Muslim,
Okay.
and when I ask Corey why he's a Muslim, he says, "I've had miracles in my life that give me confidence that Allah is true, that Muhammad was a prophet." And I'm sitting here and I have you, and you say, I've had miraculous things in my life that make me confident that Christianity is true. What's the best way somebody like me, as a neutral third party, could tell which one of you was more correct?
I think we have to get away from the fact that you're correct and I'm correct, and just understand that, you know what, that is the path that you chose to connect to the divine creator, and I have mine, and we're both right. It's not about who's more right.
Is it possible that Christianity and Islam is true?
There
Both
is
of
that
them?
there is that possibility.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't know enough about Islam, so if I am wrong, please correct me, guys out there. You know, there are passages in the Quran. I've talked to Muslim, and they do give mention to Jesus Christ. The Torah is mentioned in the Quran. Like, actually, the Torah, although I think the 5 or 6 books, or however many books are in the Torah,
Yeah.
it's in the Quran. You know, Muslim is part of Abraham's religion. You know, so again, like, that's where I'm open to this thing where, you know, I might be wrong, bro, and I'm okay with that. You know, because yeah, I might be wrong, and that's okay. You know, and that's it.
I'm wondering, this is going to sound really weird. Let's say Corey believes that Michael Jackson is God. And the reason that Corey believes Michael Jackson is God is because he's had miracles in his life.
That's a good question.
Yeah, how could we help Corey out here?
That would help Corey out.
Let's say we know, and I'm not saying this is true. Let's say we know that Michael Jackson isn't God.
Right.
How can we help Corey figure that out?
It's a big question, right? We have to look at our intentions first. Like, what is my intention? Like, am I trying to persuade Corey to follow my teaching?
Let's just say,
you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
okay, yeah, that's a really good point. Let's, on a scale from 1 to 7, how important is it for you to believe true things?
I can't rate that.
Okay.
It's hard.
Is it really important? Is it not really important?
What is the truth?
That's a really good question. How do you define truth?
The truth is very subjective.
Truth is subjective?
Wait, no, sorry. The truth, I don't know, man. That's a tough question. All right, got my head spinning right now. That's true, right? Okay, so that is a tough question. You know, that is a tough question. Let's get back to that. Yeah, let's carry on. Let's get back to. Let me think about that.
Out of all the beliefs that you currently hold, what percentage of those beliefs do you think are accurate?
I don't know. Some of them are just. And I know where you're going with these questions, by the way. And that's interesting, right? because there are certain things that I believe I know it's not true, but they're just my personal belief. And my thing is, I'm not asking for you to believe it. That's just what I believe. You know.
You believe things that you know aren't true?
Okay, what do you? Okay, see these questions, right?
I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
If you know, okay, so I have faith
Faith.
in what I believe in.
Faith in what you
Yeah,
believe.
like if I know it, then that takes away faith.
Okay.
Like
How do you define faith?
faith is believing that something is true without like having to like in my opinion without having to see it, touch it, smell it, or whatever. Like I just have faith that what I believe in is true with my religion and who I choose to follow. I have faith, believing that there is a higher power. I have faith in that, and it's like that's just it. I have faith that they're true.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't quantify God. Like if I try to do that, then it's like I don't know, but I can't. I just can't. God is I'm using the form he for those out there who, you know, God is too big for my human mind to comprehend. God is too big for my human mind to bottle up, and you know, to like if I'm able to, you know, do that, then is that really God then? Because it's just, in my opinion, if I'm able to bring like I don't know, God is just too big, you know, and that's where I can go into like little examples, like, you know, God uses people, right? Or, you know, God will, like these prophets, right? God have spoke in my belief, right? God have, you know, spoken. God have used them to bring forth His message. And are they God? No. But you know, they have a purpose that God had for them, and they came and they've served their purpose. You know, I mean, since the beginning of time, in my opinion, we've all tried to, you know, connect to this person or this thing called God. You know what I'm saying? And we can sit here, well, what do you know? Or, you know, and ask these type of questions. We're never going to find the answer because we're just going to keep going around in circles, and we're going to start contradicting ourselves. And that's where faith comes in. You know, either you believe it or you don't. And that's okay. It's okay. But if we're here to try to disprove and like all these different things, then it's like, oh, well, that's cool too, right? Because, you know, like you said, you know, we have to really challenge what we believe, right? But at some point, you have to get to faith.
Are you using faith to get to very confident in Christianity?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can somebody use faith to come to a conclusion that is inaccurate?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that say about the reliability of faith as a method for coming to truth?
If you're speaking from a scientific standpoint, it's not very reliable because, you know, it can't be proven. So that's not a reliable method.
It can't be proven.
Yeah, but again, then we go back into like this thing where, okay, this is my personal opinion now. Science changes all the time. Like the theories, you know, they add on theories. Sometimes theories are either proven or disproven, or whatever, right? You know, at one point the Earth was flat, and then we found, you know, with more information, right? In my opinion, I just think that science is just here to explain what God had already created. And, you know, we have some of the smartest minds, you know, that have walked this earth and are, you know, trying to prove what God already created. That's just my personal opinion. It may not be true.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any way to test to figure out if this is true? If Christianity is true?
And that's the thing. It's personal. You know, it's personal. I can't give you my method because it may not resonate with you. It may not. And I'm gonna ask you this question, right? Are you open? If there's this thing called God. Are you open to the possibility of that?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just being like, that's all I ask people is like, just just be open to that. Whether you want to follow Christianity, whatever you want to follow. If you want to believe nature, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Are you open to that?
I agree that it's important that we should all try to be open-minded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Would you prefer if there was a test that we could do?
Sure. Yeah.
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 You'd prefer to have that than no test?
Like me personally, I don't care because I already have my belief. It'll be nice to have that just because, there are people out there who are so logical, maybe that might benefit them. But then again, it's like, I don't really care, to be honest. I don't care because I believe, regardless of whatever anybody says or whatever test that comes out, I believe in what I believe. That's not going to change. I've had enough experiences where, that's just that.
Is that being open-minded?
Is that being open-minded? In the truest sense of that word, no. Right? But then again, what I'm getting from this whole thing then will be, do we really believe in anything then? That's what I'm getting from that question because, because we can get back to science, right? Well, science said this is true, and we've done these tests, and it's true. Back in ancient time, right, when the earth was flat, scientists will beat you a ruler if you tell them that the earth is round, right? But they all their tests, they have all the proofs that the earth was flat. And here I am like, oh, no, the earth is round. You're crazy, sacrilege, kill this guy, right? So that question, man, we can spin it and all these things, man, you're going to get back to faith. Like, do you have faith in what you believe is true? Because 10,000 years down the line, the earth might be something else. Who knows? I don't know.
If faith can lead us to conclusions that are false,
it can also lead us to conclusions that are true.
Okay. Interesting. Well, I could certainly ask you, like, is it possible somebody could have a personal experience that leads them to a conclusion about reality, but that conclusion is false?
Yeah, just like, they can have experiences that could lead them to other things, yeah.
And what about dreams? Is that the same?
I mean,
can you have a dream about something and whatever that dream was about, have it not match reality?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. That's why it's personal, man. Like our walk with God is personal. It's one of those things, man. Like when we try to bring too much logic into it, and you're just spinning in circles, and then you don't have it's kind of like it has no end and no tail, man. We're just gonna keep going around in circles. So you believe in what you believe in, and you know what? It's just that I don't know how to make it make sense. I don't know. But all I do know is that's what I believe in, and that's it. And that's one of the beauties of this country. Like you can believe in whatever you want to believe in, and that's fine. Am I right? Am I wrong? I think I'm right, but I'm not gonna prosecute anybody for not thinking the same thing that I think. That's completely fine.
Absolutely. Yeah. If a God didn't exist, would you want to know that? Don't know.
I know God exists, so I mean, yeah. I don't know. That's a good question, but I don't know.
Not sure how to answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you could learn or find out about the world that would lower your confidence that Christianity is true?
At this very moment, no. I can't think of anything.
Interesting.
Like there are people out there who will look at Christianity. Oh my gosh, these guys have done more evil around the world, and they will give you facts. They'll give you stories. They'll, different things out there to prove that Christians are evil and whatever they want to make up. It's out there, man. And that's fine. I mean,
Like
we're
people can
human
do,
beings. People can be cruel,
right,
and
right.
that's
regardless of what beliefs they
regardless of what
hold.
beliefs they hold. And that's what also makes us perfect too, because as cruel as we can be, there's also something within us that is so good, and we can be so kind and so great, and that's what makes life interesting, in my opinion. And religion is cool, and all these things, but it's that compass, it's at the purest form, religion is good. But once we introduce human, our corruption that we also have within us, we can make religion look really bad, at simultaneously making it look really good. So if we're just looking at it from like that, other side, and not also accepting the fact that there is good, we're just kind of like stuck in this really weird area.
You think that's a bad place to be?
Where
Stuck in that area that you're describing?
I don't necessarily think it's bad. I just think that we need to evolve. We need to improve our way of thinking. Like, we need to understand that, yes, religion is complicated. That's what I want to put it. It's complicated, and that's fine. And we need to just get past that. We've done so many things in the name of religion. But to be honest, that's just our personal ego we're trying to satisfy. A lot of people who are evil will come to, we have a lot of people that believe in God or Christian or Muslim, whatever. Let me go exploit that, and I'm a Christian, using that shield to fulfill their evil deeds,
Right.
And we also have good people who just, whatever, let's get past that and accept that exists, and let's get past that, and let's try to make this place a better place, and that's it. I think that's what God would want us to do, to make this place better, leave it in a better place than we found it, and, for the next generation, and try to look for evil and take out that evil, or mitigate that evil.
Yeah.
That's it.
If you found out Christianity wasn't true, how would that affect your behavior?
I don't really think it'll affect my behavior at all. I think if you're good, if you're inherently good, you're good.
You're gonna do good things.
You're gonna do good things.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cool.
I'm not good just because guy or Christian tells me to be good. I'm just good, and that's it.
I think that's really important.
Yeah.
That distinction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have any questions for me?
What religion are you?